Hey guys, welcome everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to How to Close $10,000 Speaking Deals. And we are here with our good friend, Chris Ruden. And we're going to introduce Chris here in just a moment and let him share just a little bit about himself before we get into the presentations today. But hey, drop in a comment. Let us know where you guys are in the world. And I want you to do this, okay? Think about this. If you are looking to build a speaking business and wondering how you get paid $10,000 or more a speaking gig, you are in the right place. So here's what I want you to do. If you're ready to get paid 10K or more a speaking gig, drop in the comments 10K, guys, 10K. All right. So first of all, Chris, let's do this. I would love for you to just introduce yourself and tell everybody just a little bit about what you're going to be talking about today. And then Michael and I will take over from there and we'll talk about how we got connected, do a little presentation, and we'll hand it over to you for the rest of the keynote.
Absolutely. So my name is Chris Ruden, and I'm the only 7-figure type 1 diabetic professional keynote speaker, world record holding power lifter, and donut connoisseur that you probably know. How is that? Thank you so much.
Love
it. Bravo.
That's why I get 10K to speak. No, I've been professionally speaking for about 6 years, and it took me 60 plus months to get to the point where I'm charging $10,000 to $15,000 per keynote and getting all the way up to $50,000+ speaking deals. So it took me 60 months, and I'm going to attempt to teach all of you in 60 minutes or less. So that's my promise to you. I'll be talking to you through 3 different steps: actionable message, profitable topic, and the marketing that goes into getting $10,000 to speak for 60 minutes or even less. So join my cool bionic arm and my ridiculously terrible dad jokes, and I'm excited to share all this stuff with you.
Well, we're very excited to be here with you, Chris. Just for a few moments, we're going to bump you backstage so we can kind of set the tone for everything, talk just a little bit about how to position people as a speaker, and then we're going to bring you back for all the goods.
Sounds
all right?
good to me.
All right. We'll see you here shortly. Hang tight. All right. My button. There we go. Okay. Couldn't find the button, guys. My goodness.
So many buttons. So many things
so
to
true.
press around here.
That's right.
Hey guys, thank you so much for joining us. Like Tanya said, drop a line in the comments. Tell us where you're from and put in 10,000, 10K if you're interested in learning what Chris is going to teach us about how to get to those big 5-figure and even 6-figure speaking gigs.
Yeah. So first of all, how did we get hooked up with that amazing man, Chris Ruden? Okay. So we met him. It hasn't been too long ago now. We just instantly were drawn to him because his story was absolutely incredible. It began with being on the Titan Games with The Rock. He was featured in People magazine. He's been exposed to millions of people on social media. But here's the thing, guys. After all of that fame, he realized one thing that you're going to be interested in today. No one taught him how to get paid to speak. And how many of you has that happened to, right? I know it's happened to me before, right? It took a while. So what did Chris do? He created his own path and his own rules. And that's really what we're going to be talking about today, or that's what Chris is going to be talking about.
Yeah, as soon as we met Chris, Tanya met him first, and she told me, she's like, "Oh, I just can't wait for you to meet this guy." We knew we had to bring this topic to you guys because most of our clients are speakers, authors, coaches, consultants, right? And we knew that they had to know how Chris has built his speaking business well beyond $10,000 per gig now. And we all got to start somewhere, right?
Exactly. So let's start here. Speaking of, for those of you who don't know us, my name's Tanya Eberhard. I'm the founder of BrandFace. All we do, guys, is build profitable personal brands. We're going to talk a little bit about that today before Chris comes on the stage. And our mantra is change how you're seen and charge what you're worth.
And it goes a little deeper than that. My name's Michael Carr. I'm the COO of BrandFace, but you may not know if you're new to us. I actually was a client of Tanya's before becoming a partner in the company. It totally transformed my life. I hired her for marketing, she taught me branding. And I've been a 30-year entrepreneur in a real estate business. I was in it 20 years before I met this beautiful lady. It has changed our lives, and we still use those principles that we're going to teach you today that are going to be valuable to you getting on stages. And then it's going to fall right in line with what Chris is going to talk about. Like you said, the marketing and everything. And that's the reason why we wanted to bring and partner with Chris and bring him on here, was because it's such a powerful 1-2 punch. In order to get paid speaking gigs, you have to look like a high paid level speaker. Okay, that's very important. And that, my friends, is called personal branding. Very important. And today, Tanya and I are going to talk to you about what needs to happen to get noticed as a high level speaker. And then Chris is going to cover what you do to get paid while you're looking that way. Okay. So we're going to start with how to get noticed. I mean, this is really important. It's really the crux of personal branding and changing how you're seen so you can charge what you're worth. It really starts with getting noticed, right? Well, do you look like a high paid level speaker? Mm-hmm. If you don't, let's get started.
All right. And that, going back to the mantra, change how you're seen and charge what you're worth, is exactly what we're going to teach you how to do today. There are actually 3 steps to look like a high level speaker. And here's number 1. It's get focused. Get focused. All right. When event coordinators or event organizers and others who hire speakers look at your brand, they literally see one of 2 things. They see confusion or they see clarity, right? And as Michael says, you can't calculate the cost of confusion.
Nope.
If they don't know exactly what sets them apart, right? Or if they don't know exactly what sets you apart from all the other different speakers they could hire, you end up in what we call the speaker sea of sameness. And you don't want to be in the speaker sea of sameness, guys. So, and I'm not talking about just the speaking topic, right? And we'll talk about that in just a moment. Differentiation is where a powerful speaking presence begins.
Yeah, most people don't realize how many opportunities they are missing by not being focused as a speaker. And that means you need to be focused in 3 areas we're going to go over with you here today. First, what do you stand for? That's the crux of all personal branding. And that's the line in the sand that's very important to you. We're going to talk about that next. The second thing is your audience. Your audience as a speaker, and is very important. And you're going to have 2 types of your audience, right? You're going to have the event organizers that you're going to have to be able to get noticed by to even start to be recognized as a high level speaker. And then you're going to have the actual audience in the seat. The people that are sitting there listening to your topic, right? And they have to know exactly what they want in order to be valuable, right? To you. And you have to know exactly what you want in order to be valuable to them. And Chris is going to really talk about this. It's one of the things that's just a crux of his teaching, is how to be valuable to that person in that seat. It's very important. And then third, of course, is going to be your topic. What are you going to talk about? Almost nothing replaces a super compelling topic. And that actually comes from doing the work of a brand. That's going to bring that brand into focus and where you're pointing that, right? And that leads us to a little deeper dive into number 2.
All right. And number 2 is get branded. Okay, that's not going to surprise you coming from us, right?
I hope it doesn't.
No, I shouldn't. A brand is an entire ecosystem. It is not just a photo, a logo, and a tagline. And why? Because it takes that ecosystem to make you profitable. It's so much more than that. So when you take the time to pull together one cohesive brand, you'd be amazed how it naturally just provides the guardrails for anything else you do to promote yourself. And that means your speaking topics too. Everything that you do actually emanates and is birthed from the brand. That's the way it should be, right? And face it, okay, if you don't know what sets you apart and what you have to offer that is unique and compelling from a brand perspective and a speaking perspective, neither do the event organizers who are looking for great speakers. And worse yet, neither does the audience. All right, we see way too many speaking and podcast profiles that are just, well, I'm trying to be nice, generic and boring. Okay. Don't let that be you. Know exactly what you stand for, who you serve, and how you're changing lives with your message from the stage.
Yeah. Like, think about this. Like, just, you can't approach this saying, oh, I'll talk about anything. Put me in front of an audience. It's not going to work out for you. You got to be focused on it. And 98% of people are going to meet your brand before they meet you. It's one of the things that Tanya taught me a long time ago, and it still holds true 12 years later. And if you're positioned strongly, you're going to create many more opportunities for that speaking. Okay. If you are positioned strongly, that's very important. On the other hand, if your brand is not dialed in and it is not clear who you serve, how you serve them, how you can change lives, then you're not even going to recognize the missed opportunities. You're going to be sitting there wishing that the email would come through or the phone would ring.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm going to take just one moment and give a shameless plug to some of our clients here. What you're looking at here is our Brand Face Client Spotlight magazine. And I got to say, all 8 people on there are speakers. And now just take a look. Like, what you're looking at right now is just the cover of their Spotlight magazine. That's actually a 6-7 page spread magazine that we put out for every client that graduates from Brand Face. And you can see how, just at a glance, just by visual alone, those people are really, it's a beautiful presence, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's even before you dig into what is that brand really all about. So when I say look like a high paid speaker, that's exactly what I mean. Look like a high paid speaker.
Exactly.
Right? Exactly. Okay. So then we're going to go to number 3, our final one today. And this one might surprise some of you guys. You probably don't see it coming. It's get streamlined. Okay. Get streamlined. Here's what I mean by that. Most of our clients are coaches and consultants, and they're also speakers, authors, and podcasters, or at least one of those.
Yep.
So they don't just want to get paid for speaking. They want to get clients from their speaking gigs too. I mean, raise a hand. How many? Just pop in the word clients if you want to get clients from your speaking gig too. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's how a great brand can actually streamline many of the things you're doing. Think about it. You set the tone for who you are, who you serve, how you serve them, what qualifies you to do that, how it changes their lives, and how you're different, which are the 5 critical questions that we look at when we begin to build a brand. You set that, it sets the tone and foundation for what you're known for. And then that provides those guardrails and allows you to streamline. One of the things I hear really often is, well, I've got like several different revenue streams over here.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got books I'm trying to sell. I'm trying to get on stages. I want to get sponsors for my podcast. I'm trying to get clients. And all of these little streams are trickling in with profit, guys. But what you really want to do, if the brand's set up correctly, you take all those revenue streams and you run them right into a revenue river.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we mean by streamlining with the brand.
Yes. And look at it like this. If your brand and then your speaking topic are not aligned with your revenue goals, then you're headed in the wrong direction. You've got some of the parts and pieces, but you're not going down the road. Okay. And this happens so often. We see this with many of our clients. I would say 99% of our clients. This is the biggest struggle that they're dealing with. That's why brand alignment matters, guys. And that actually extends to all the projects that you do that Tanya was just talking about. So when a brand is aligned with the topic and everything is super focused, then your chances of not only getting paid $10,000 or more to speak, it also means getting clients magnifies, right? So now you're talking to people in the audience that are going to also buy your programs, your coaching, all of your backroom sales. Okay. So let's recap these things. There's 3 major things that you're going to need when dialing in your brand. You need to be focused, you need to be branded, and you need to be streamlined.
Yep. Okay. So if you're not really sure if your speaking presence is up to par and will get you those $10,000 or more speaking gigs, hang out till the very end, because we're going to give you a very special offer for this. And it's a speaker's brand audit, absolutely free. So hang tight. Well, we're not going to take any more time away from the magical Chris Ruden. So we're going to pass it on to Chris now and bring him up to the stage once again.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard about him, you've read about him, is often imitated, never duplicated, strange but not a stranger, your friend and mine, a man of the hour, the tower of power, the rage of his age, Chris Ruden.
Oh, wait, you're muted, Chris. Hold tight. Are you muted
Earth
there?
to Chris.
Coke, you want to go out and come back in?
Let's take him out, put him back in.
All right. Hang on.
Huh.
There we
go.
are.
You're
Hallelujah.
back. Woohoo!
Cool. There we go. There we
You
go.
never know
Jim
what's
and I
gonna-
control to Houston.
I was saying I would pay you to follow me around and say that wherever I go. I'd
Done.
appreciate that.
Done. Folks,
So-
that's how you get paid.
That's right.
That's the trick.
Go
You need one of
now.
those.
We've uncovered it all. It'll be $10,000.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate the introduction. I appreciate the intro to branding too, because it's vital. And I never really knew I was branding myself until looking back, and I was like, wow, branding played a huge role in why I'm here today.
Absolutely.
quick-
Okay, we're gonna bow
yeah,
out now and
yeah.
hand you the stage, Chris.
All right.
Take it away.
Thank you so much for giving me your time, and I hope I can give you as much value as I can in this time. I have been a professional speaker for about 7 years, but I have to explain a little bit about my story before we go forward. Being born with a disability, I always felt like a monster. I felt broken, and it took me 17 plus years of hiding my disability to understand that I was never broken, that I was enough to start. And we all have some sort of journey. I think there's a universal language of adversity that we all follow in whatever capacity, whether it's relationships, business, personal, professional, and anything in between. What I'm showing you today are 3 simple steps to avoid some of the pitfalls that I avoided in getting to the point where I can get the $10,000 to $15,000 plus talks that I now get. When I first started speaking, I did about 30 plus events for free. I set my value as 0, and I did as much as I could because I didn't believe in myself. I didn't believe that I was worth the money, and I didn't start getting paid until I started asking for money. And when I started asking for money, I started getting paid. And when I started asking for more money, I started getting paid more. But as I did that, I had to level up my business. I had to level up how I look, and I had to level up going from treating speaking as a hobby to a profession. So whether you want to speak as a hobby or profession, I'm going to give you some tips and tricks and simple steps to speed up that learning curve so it doesn't take you 6 or 7 years. You can do it starting this year. So we're going to start first and foremost with the first pillar that I teach all of my speaking clients and all of anyone who wants to get into speaking, where to start. And it starts with step 1, which is an actionable message. You have to have an actionable message. And it's so easy to be like, oh, yeah, I understand. But we need to talk about that. Your story is not your message. Your story is a vessel for your message. And this is where most people go wrong. They go on stage or they go on social media and they talk about what happened to them. And it goes a little bit like this. When I grew up, this happened to me, and then this happened to me, and then this happened to me, and me. Thank you so much for listening to me. Why is anyone going to pay you for talking about me? The goal is to deliver a message that helps someone else. And one of the best interactions I had with my first mentor, I told him my story, how I was born with a disability, disease, all of this struggle, almost didn't want to be here in my life. And now I have world records and all this stuff. He looked me dead in my eye and he said, so what? No one cares. And that threw me off. I was like, what does that mean? He said, people don't care about your story. They care about what your story does for them. Make it matter to them. They are hurting. They need help. They have problems that need to be solved. So if your story does not act as a vessel for the message that they need, you will not get paid $10,000. You will struggle to get paid $1,000 or $500. People need solutions to the problems they're facing. An actionable message allows you to give someone a step-by-step tool. Here's what you need to do. If you have this problem, here are the steps to solve that problem. I speak on 3 topics: overcoming adversity, change management, and diversity inclusion, specifically disability inclusion. I have actionable messages for each of those, how to gain the upper hand to turn adversity into advantage. I have an actionable message for that specific audience that needs that help. What is an actionable message? Well, if I say, what do you speak on? And you say, oh, mental health. I speak on business. No one in their right mind has ever said, my problem is business. No. Problems are oddly specific. Maybe your problem is improving internal communication. Maybe your problem is improving company culture. Maybe your problem is improving sales. Whatever the problem is, it has to be specific enough and honestly painful enough that your actionable message will be the solution for what they need, not what they want. And how do you know it's actionable? Think about this. Your message is either a vitamin or a painkiller. Vitamins are great, but the second the going gets rough, vitamins get thrown to the side. Painkillers are taken because they need them. You need to take them. It's a must. Make sure your message is a painkiller and not a vitamin. It's not just something nice to hear like a movie or a nice story on social media. It's something that the audience will walk away from saying, wow, that one thing that person said, that one message, that one story changed the game for me. You have to have action in the message. So one of the easiest ways that I help my speaker clients, I ask them this: who do you help? What do you help them do? And why? You have to help someone do something very specific that means something to them. Because let's be honest, if I said, hey, listen, I want to get better at playing basketball, and you're like, great, I'm going to teach you how to play tennis, there's no alignment there. So when we talk about branding, that's vital to understand: who are you helping? What do you help them do? And why is that important? That's the start of an actionable message. So many people come to me and say, oh, I want to make $10,000. Okay. If you wanted to go to the NFL, do you just go to the NFL? Do you just go to a sports league? Do you just become a professional? You have to lay the groundwork. You have to have the message and look like the speaker to become the speaker. Is it easy? Not really, but it is simple. This is step one. And to be a little crass, I say this a lot, so excuse me. You can't polish a turd. I'm sorry, you can't polish a turd. So if your message isn't good, if your message is kind of shitty, or if your message is not for the person's benefit, there is no amount of marketing or branding that's going to fix a message that isn't actionable. That's why that's step one. Does that make sense? Everyone with me? If you're with me, give me a thumbs up in the comments. I do want to move on from actionable message, because once you have that message that is so clear and dialed in on exactly what you're helping the target audience solve, you have to go to step two, which is profitable topic. Profitable topic is probably where most people fall after they have their message. Short story from me, I originally wanted to speak on mental health. I just wanted to speak on mental health because it's so vital to me. And I truly think everyone could benefit from improving their mental health, especially in today's society. And I'm sure you agree. It's so glaringly obvious that we need it. You would think that it is an extremely profitable topic. You would think. But surprisingly, it is much more difficult to go into mental health. It's not impossible. But profitable topics are things that in the current speaker industry, things that are hiring at the 10,000, 20,000 plus mark. One of the easiest ways to figure out what profitable topics exist, especially right now, is to learn from other people's research. I am not going to invest hundreds of thousands of dollars to find out what the best topics in the speaking industry are. Luckily for me, speakers bureaus are already doing this work. They're already doing it. If you go to a speakers bureau website like Big Speak or All American Entertainment or any of these other speakers bureaus that represent hundreds, if not thousands of speakers, they only get their money from the speakers they represent that they book, which means it's solely commission. And that means they promote what's working. They focus on what's working, and their key research insights on topics that are producing are readily available on their website. If you pull up bigspeak.com and you can go to categories of speakers, look at the list of categories and find a few that resonate with your actionable message. It could be anything specific enough from women in leadership all the way to company culture or to sales. Find these profitable topics and take a look at what the industry is moving with. It's not that you have to completely change your message. You change your positioning around your message to match the market so that you can maximize profitability without losing authenticity. And that's the key. My biggest fear was that when talking to other mentors, they're like, you have to get more profitable. And I was like, no, I want to talk about mental health. They're like, wait a minute. At no point did I say you can't talk about mental health. It's a positioning game. It's a branding game. So if you brand yourself to an unprofitable topic, no matter how good your message is, you're pigeonholing yourself to lose profit just so you can maintain an image, which stops you from helping people in the first place. Finding that profitable topic is key. And if you want to take that a step further, which is something I work with personally, once you find those profitable topics, let's say it's as general as sales or as specific as disability inclusion, you go on these speakers bureaus websites and look at their top performing keynote speakers at different monetary ranges. I'm on Big Speak right now and they list me between $10,000 to $20,000. You can reverse engineer everything I'm doing and everything all of the other speakers are doing that are profitable by looking at their profile, maybe even going to their website and seeing what they're doing that's working. How are they positioning their messages? How are they positioning their topics? What materials do they have? How are they talking about themselves? And how are these bureaus talking about them? All of this information is readily available. But for some reason, I find that so many speakers pretend that they have to start on a blank slate. They pretend that they have to invent this information and they have to find it in their own heads. Smart people learn from their mistakes. Geniuses learn from other people's mistakes. So look at these positioning and these marketing from people that are already succeeding in the space that you want to be in. You want to be a $10,000 speaker. Look at all of the $10,000 speakers on those bureaus and then go to their personal websites. What are they talking about in your space specifically, in your area of expertise? What are they talking about? How are they talking about it? How are they maintaining that profitable topic? How are they maintaining that actionable message? The information is there. They look the part and they're being the part. So now it comes down to reverse engineering that process. The profitable topic, just to reiterate, is not sacrificing who you truly are so that you can make money. I would never do that. I will speak on the topics that I know. I stay in my lane. Could I speak on a lot of topics? Absolutely. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Like they said, you have to stay focused. You have to focus on 1 to 3 pillars in your expertise. Otherwise, you are the Walmart approach, and that never works. If you claim to be an expert on everything, the reality is you're probably not an expert on anything. Take speaker 1 and speaker 2. Speaker 1 speaks on everything. Speaker 2 speaks on connection or team cultivation. If an event is looking for a team cultivation expert, they have those 2 choices. They're going to go with the person who specializes, who focuses, the person who is the expert in that profitable topic versus I can talk for everyone. You can, but the likelihood of you making $10,000 plus per keynote, those are the people that focus on the actionable message and focus on the profitable topic. Now, that I can't say enough how important step 1 and step 2 are. If you do not have a clear actionable message, the likelihood of you making $10,000 plus per keynote, unless you are a famous athlete or superstar, is slim to none. And most people skip those steps because they're not sexy. They're not fun. Everyone wants to go to marketing. And so many people try and market a product they didn't put energy into making it right the first time. If you do it right the first time, you never have to start over again. If you don't brand yourself with your messages, if you don't have that core message that helps that core audience, if you're not in that profitable space, you can't become the speaker we're talking about today. So again, just reiterating that. But now getting into a little bit more of the fun stuff. The last pillar of this whole talk, we have the actionable message, we have the profitable topic, but now the marketing. And the marketing, there's 2 strategies when it comes to becoming a $10,000 plus speaker. First, we have the inbound strategy, which is your digital speaker footprint. That's your website, your speaker's reel, how you position yourself, how you show yourself. If you do not have a website, How do people know you speak? Because you say so? You have to have a website. Now, you can do a cheaper website in the beginning. Start somewhere. It doesn't matter. Use a free website builder. If you know a friend who can do it, great. You have to have a website, and you have to brand yourself as your speaker, as your actionable message in your profitable topic. Look at the people who have done it before you, who are at where you want to be. Reverse engineer that process. You don't have to spend tens of thousands of dollars on a website creation. Don't do that. I'm saying messages matter more than just pretty marketing. Okay. But marketing does play a role in that. So your digital speaker footprint is the main step after you have your message. Is your website positioning you as a leader or an expert in that profitable topic? Does your core message come across clear? Never sacrifice clearness for creativity. Never sacrifice clarity for creativity. You want to balance the two, but clarity matters most. Your website should display you as a speaker, as a professional, and display the topics that you speak on. From there, you do want to have a speaker's reel. And that was probably my biggest mistake. If I could speed up years of progress for you, the first 3 years I didn't have a speaker's reel, and I still spoke a lot, but a lot of it was free or for 1/10 the price that we're talking today. Okay. If I could go back the first year or two, I would have focused on the messaging and the topic, but I would have really focused on creating a speaker's reel. Now, at the end of this talk, we're going to talk about how I can show you how to create that speaker's reel, how to create those marketing materials to be even more effective. There are so many different positioning effects that you can do in your digital speaker footprint that can position you as a 10K plus talk that will speed up years of work in a quarter of the time or less. That's the inbound component. If you want to take it a step further, we can talk about SEO and blog. Again, I will give you those resources after this call. The outbound component is the grind. That's the part that no one likes, including myself. The outbound component is choosing either email or LinkedIn and reaching out to people to start connections and conversations and relationships to potentially speak. Where most people go wrong, they pitch slap. And if you know what pitch slapping is, it's very offensive. It happens on LinkedIn all the time, but also through email. Hi, my name is Chris, and I'm a disabled speaker, and what I speak about is change and overcoming adversity, and I have a few records, and I actually help a lot of people at companies. What? I don't know you. Why are you doing that? Makes me uncomfortable. Relationships matter when it comes to marketing. Instead of spraying and praying and hoping that you just messaged 4,000 people to close one deal, why not message 100 people directly and start a conversation and relationship? You could be as simple as, hey, are you the person responsible for bringing in speakers to your organization? Probably one of the most effective cold emails ever. And a lot of people paid a lot of money for that specific line. Or even better, if you want to take it to the next level and you're on LinkedIn, hey, I love what you do. I absolutely love what you do. I noticed that we're in similar spaces. Would you be open to connecting sometime? It's not about what you want. It's not about what you want. It's about what you can offer. And what you can offer, we are humans. At the end of the day, billion-dollar organizations are made up of individuals, and individuals thrive and desire connection. Connect first, build first, close after. You have to connect to close. You have to connect to close. If you want to do it effectively, if you want to be seen as a $10,000 speaker, you have to care first. No one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. You have to care about the organization's mission. You have to care about the problem you're solving, and you have to care that they share that same problem. That's effective outbound marketing. Now, there's follow-up systems and CRMs and all. We can get into the weeds of that. I'm sure even talking about all of this today, it's like, oh my God, there's so much information. How am I supposed to do this? It's overwhelming. Whether you're walking to your refrigerator or you're doing the Boston Marathon, both are overwhelming if you look at all of the things that need to happen. But both are very simple when you break them down into a single step, repeated over and over again. There is a lot you need to do to become a $10,000 speaker, but it is very simple. It starts with a message, it evolves into the topic, and then you start the process of marketing. Easier said than done? Absolutely. But better done than said. Nothing is better than opening up my laptop on a weekly or monthly basis and seeing multiple event requests coming into me. 95% of my events are inbound because of my positioning, because of my branding, because of my messaging and topic and marketing, my digital speaker footprint. When I get requests saying, hey, we'd love for you to speak to this event. We only have about 120 people. We have a $12,000 budget. Does that work for you? And I'm like, absolutely. But can you throw in a few books for an extra few grand? And they're like, absolutely, no problem at all. My business now is giving me more free time than anything to enjoy my life, but make money that I've never dreamed of. I'm not a millionaire by any chance, but a high six-figure speaker who got the dream car, got the dream stuff. It's great, but nothing replaces the quality of time that I have now because I put my head down and did the work. I built the brand, I built the message, and I made the message matter to the right people. Now, I just continue to market it. I market it through social media. I market it through PR. I market it through LinkedIn and through talks like this to help other speakers. Over the last year and a half, I've started working with other speakers directly, and I don't try and open that too much. The main goal of today is to give value to any potential speaker who wants to grow and scale their business up. There's no real universal fix to an individual problem, but I hope that some of this information at least gives you the tools that you need. I did want to figure out what I can give you all past just this talk. And I was considering, could I give you my profitable speaker checklist, which I have a detailed checklist on exactly what you need. Could I give you personal time with me, maybe a group setting? I was like, which one? And instead of deciding which one, I think I decided I'm going to give you all everything I have. You are on mute, but
now
I know
I'm on mute. That's it. You can read my lips, though. You're awesome. I don't know what it is today with us missing these mute buttons. I swear. Oh, Chris, that I wrote so many notes. It's insane. Like I really want to touch on a couple of things, and then I want to share. I want to share with everybody like what you're going to be offering to them and what we're going to be offering to them. But I just wanted to share a couple of things. I made some notes on the back of an envelope. Okay.
That's perfect.
When you said do it right the first time, bingo, do it right the first time, because it's building a brand and building a speaking brand and getting your topic right and doing all the things that you suggested to do. Those take times. It's not for the faint of heart. This is if this was super easy, everybody would be making 10K plus doing speeches, right? But
I do want to add to that. It takes time, but guess what? 5 years from now is going to be 5 years from now, no matter what. You're either going to be 5 years ahead or 5 years behind, and that's only because of the decisions you choose to make today, on this call, after this call, and every moment moving forward. Think about 10 years ago. You're like, oh, I can't do that. It's going to take too long. Well, now you're 10 years behind.
Exactly.
Time is so unforgiving. So all of this everything is complex when you look at it from a bird's eye view. But when you get super granular and say, what is the next move? What is the one thing I need to do right now that I can do today to make minuscule progress? Because grains of sand build to sand dunes, mountains, and everything in between. But can't.
Oh, Chris, your audio. It sounds like it has a little static, almost like there's a short in it somewhere.
Huh? Is it okay now?
Okay, it's perfect now. It might have just been the placement of the microphone.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Yeah, I like to. I want to add that in. I love what you said. Easier said than done, but better done than said. That is so true. Like you have to one foot in front of another, and get started, guys. Get started. That's the key. The doing is the key. The doing is the key.
And I had two more points here that I just think are really
Let's go.
Phenomenal. It's not about what you want. It's about what you can offer. Right. And I think a lot of people out there, and I think I saw one person, it might've been Jamie make a comment, or Michelle, it might've been one of those two, made a comment about self-esteem or something, like they just weren't real sure of themselves in this. Now, I'm paraphrasing, I know, I apologize for that. But I think a lot of that comes from our hesitancy to put ourselves out there, thinking that it's a move of arrogance or narcissism if we continue to put ourselves out there.
I want to address that.
Yeah. Okay.
Perfect guy to address it.
Absolutely. What we say is your brand isn't look at me. It's look what I can do to help you. And I'll let you take it from there.
Yes. One, if you are fearful of coming across as a narcissist, I can promise you clinically you're not a narcissist, because narcissists don't fear coming across as narcissist. So we'll just clear that up. We'll clear that up. Right. If someone on the street were like, hey, if they just came up to you randomly, it turned like, I'm really struggling, could you talk with me for a second? You wouldn't say, no, I'm not good enough to talk to you. You would give them the time of day. Mm-hmm. Whether I'm speaking to 5,000 people or 5 people, I'm always only speaking to one person. I speak to you. I don't speak to we or us or all of you. I speak to you. You can always help someone, and you can. You are showing or embellishing your accomplishments, absolutely. But think about the purpose. The purpose of that is to position you to help people. I would almost argue it would be selfish not to share your message. Mm-hmm. It would be selfish to hold yourself back because that one person on the audience might be on the edge financially, mentally, physically, and your message, your version of your message, your actionable message for them might be exactly what they need. Are you really going to hold that back from them? No.
You would.
It's time to share the message. It's time to get paid for what you're worth. It's time to get the $10,000 speaker. Do you know the only thing different from when I went from a $5,000 speaker to a $10,000 speaker was the number?
That was
my message. My message is here. I constantly evolve my branding and my marketing and stuff. And that's more of an ego thing. I love looking like the part, but at the end of the day, I'm confident that is my message worth 10,000? Is my message worth 30,000? Is my message worth 100,000? I don't know, but my message is worth sharing.
Mm. Oh, I love that. I love that.
Yep.
We preach a lot here about unveiling your inner star. And everyone out there, all of you who are listening right now, you have an inner star. You have this star quality inside you and this star message and this star human being that you are. And really your brand is nothing more than bringing that out. Mm-hmm. And when you go on the stage to speak, like Chris said, you'll bring that message out of the brand, and it all just smoothly comes together like that. But everybody is worth it. And it was Michelle corrected me, self-worth was the word that she used in that. And that is something that I think so many people struggle with, but they don't always admit it, right? So admitting that is that first step to realizing, hey, you've got the goods. You've really got the goods.
It's a limiting belief.
It is. You have
to has no business in your mind or heart.
I think it's important to understand that everything is a skill. Confidence is a skill. Mm-hmm. Self-belief, self-esteem, everything is a skill. And the benefit of that is even if you're not that good at the skill, all skills can be trained. All skills can be improved. I in the book that I have coming out, which we're going to talk about shortly, I help people reframe the narrative and reframe the language around habits and how to change. So if you say, I have bad self-esteem, I have low self-esteem, that's not true. You have had low self-esteem in the past, but that's not who you are. At every moment, you have a chance to change your habits or change your language, which can inevitably change your life. In your business, as a speaker, this is what we're talking about today, but it goes so much deeper than just being a speaker because you're a person first. So I help people, whether they're speakers, people, leaders, anything in between, because we're all human. And that's the one connection piece that puts everyone together.
So true.
Yes, yes. There's one other thing that I wanted to mention to you because you used the word pretty, and we like that word a lot. We like to say, anybody can build a pretty brand, but unless it's purposeful and profitable, it's pointless, right? Mm-hmm. And you didn't talk about that. You said, hey, the pretty stuff is okay, but that's not going to get you where you want to go. And that is the same whether it's branding or speaking. And speaking is really just an extension of your brand, right? Sure. So Yeah, the pretty stuff. And we all love, like I showed earlier, the covers of the Brand Face Client Spotlight magazines. They're all pretty, right? They're beautiful. But that's just at first glance, pretty's only skin deep, right? Seriously, that's, that's what we look at in terms of, is the brand displayed properly? And then looking deeper into it is, okay, what is this person all about? What's their story? Why are they doing what they're doing? What are they going to teach me today that I can put into action today? And that's what I love about, what you're teaching, Chris. It's so much more than just that pretty brand.
Yeah, it better be pretty impactful. It better be pretty profitable. It better be pretty clear, but pretty alone, pretty alone is not enough.
No, it's not.
So true. So true. Okay. Well, before we move on to the offers that we have for everybody. So I think they're going to be really excited about what you have to offer. We have an awesome announcement today.
Yeah, we got to give a huge shout out to our good friend Mike Asher-Browner and the Hounds of Business. The Hounds of Business. You talk about a community you need to be a part of, guys. Michael Asher-Browner is the founder of this community, full of high-level, heart-centered professionals who lift each other up every day and support each other in their endeavors and what they do. So we wanted to give a big shout out from Mike. Huge buddy of ours, and his community is fantastic.
And by the way, many of them are on this event right now and loving on us, showing us lots of amazing comments and connecting with each other. Thank you guys for all you do to support us. We really, really appreciate that. So, and now, Chris, I'm going to let you talk just a little bit about the offer. We're going to, let's see if we can do this. There we go. Go ahead and tell them about what we talked about earlier.
Absolutely. So like normally things like this, I'd offer you something that costs lots of money, and I'm just going to give away everything I have for free. We were talking about what I could offer or what I could do, but what matters more to me is I vow to be the person I never had growing up. So as a speaker, I never had real mentors for a long time. As a person, I never really had that guidance. I want to be that, and maybe we'll work together down the road sometime, but in the meantime, let me just give you what I have, and the only thing I would ask, I have a new book coming out. It comes out September 4th, and I'm so proud of this thing. Like I just got this like yesterday. I just got back from 2 back-to-back events. Reading through it, I'm getting chills. Just like, this is years of work to help people change the course of their life for the better, whether it's business or personal or anything. So in celebration of this, I was like, what could I give you in trade for you getting a book that could potentially change your life? I have a profitable speaker checklist, which takes you through everything in so much more detail than what I've even talked about today. I'm going to give that to you for free. It's a full 4 to 5 page PDF with exactly what to do. Exactly. On top of that, to me, that's not enough. I want to give you all a private group training where you join and it's free. That would normally be well over $2,000. When people work with me, it's upwards of $2,000 a month. I'm going to give you that group call for free, where you can ask private, specific questions to your business that will also help other people. All you have to do is order this $20 book. That would help me so much as a smaller author. I've conquered speaking. I've conquered so many things in my personal life. I've conquered my mental health of being able to go outside without hiding my disability after 17 years. As an author, as a person who's building this to help other people, I would appreciate the support so much. So anyone who chooses to order the book on Amazon for pre-order right now will have access to the PDF, Profitable Speaker Checklist, and a private group with me for an hour to ask any of your specific questions on building a 6-figure plus speaking business.
What a gift, Chris. Thank you so much for that, and all of the audience. Wow. And I encourage everybody, please take him up on this offer. Look at the value that he has offered just over the last 30 minutes that would get you moving in the right direction to a $10,000 speaking gig and more. Listen, that's not the sky's limit. That's just a place that might seem a long way away for you, that is really just a few steps away. And then it just leads to more and more and more. And so if he'll give us that kind of value in 30 minutes, what's he going to give you in an hour? So we really,
and in a book,
and in a book that's going to help you
Yeah.
change that course of direction, maybe set you right. And, I find in books like that, it's what's amazing is sometimes it's just one sentence. It changes everything. And you're like, man, that was the greatest thing that I ever did. And I promise you'll get that in Chris's book.
Oh, you said something that I do want to share. Here, I'm going to give you a free page from the book. You said that one sentence. In my book, I have a specific story. If you took a flight from LA to Milan, Italy, and it changed course by 1 degree, you could end up as far as Tunisia in Africa or Austria by changing 1 degree. What this book helps you do is to break down huge goals into 1 degree shifts that will radically change your life. 1 degree is all the change you need. Maybe you already got something off the call that is your 1 degree shift. Maybe on the next call that we get privately with you and me, that 1 degree is waiting. Maybe it's in this book. But
That's
don't
awesome.
maybe it. Don't maybe it. Give it a shot.
Yeah.
What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah.
You could become extremely successful. Oh no.
Oh no. What?
that would be terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. And in the comments on all platforms, we've also popped in the link there to pre-order that book, The Art of Changing Course. I can't wait to read it. You've already had several people
Already.
through here, Jamie, Mike, Dustin, Kendra. I mean, there's been several people, Susanna, Dawn. Hi, Susanna, Dagna. I mean, lots of people have already just ordered that book. So we're gonna tackle that too. And Chris, gosh, I can't thank you enough for what you've done here today.
Jim, there's our friend Jim Hardwick.
There we
Hello,
go.
Mr.
Hey,
Jim.
Jim's
I noticed my friend Dustin's on here too, and he's a professional speaker as well that I've talked with for a long time, and I want to connect you guys with him. So seeing his name on there is really exciting. I think he'd be a great connect for you guys too. So we'll talk about that offline. But seeing the comments, seeing the passion of this group, and I'm just so thankful that everyone gave their time and is willing to listen, because like we said, that one thing can make all the difference. So I really hope you all got something from that.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I can tell, like, Dustin mentioned, you're just a genuine guy, a very caring guy. And that's just what came across from you the very first time we met you, Chris.
Yeah, for sure.
I appreciate
Very pleased to know you.
Same here. I don't know if you want to open it up for Q&A or anything. I would love to answer questions.
If anybody has any questions at all, just go ahead and pop them into the comments. And while you do that, we're going to also extend an offer on this end. And if you've ever had a question, hey, is my speaker brand powerful enough to get on those high paid stages, to get noticed as a high paid speaker? If you don't know that for sure, hey, that's no problem. We can help you out. Scan that. Just register for a free speaker's brand audit. As soon as you register, we're going to follow up with more details about what we need to grab from you so that we can do that audit for you and get you all that information back and get you headed in the right direction.
Any of my speakers that are on here or people that I've talked to about speaking coaching, please scan this and get the free brand audit. They're incredible at branding. So any of my people that are listening, make sure you scan that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you. All right, let's see if we have any questions here. Let's do this. Let me pull this down for a minute, and the link is going to be in the comments to get this free speaker's brand audit. That's going to be in the comments as well. So hang on. Let's see. Dagna wants to know when the training would happen, since the book doesn't have an official release date yet.
So the book official release date is September 4th. So everyone, if you put it in order now, you'll get the book by September 4th, which is fantastic. It's only 2 weeks away. Mm-hmm. The official training, we can set a date once everyone has that. I want to be fair enough that everyone has a date that we can do. So what I could do is anyone who orders the book sends the receipt copy to us. We will send out a few dates, and whatever has the highest survey rate of what is attendable, I want to be fair to everyone. If there are some extenuating circumstances and we have to do another one, I'm open to it, but I really want to try and get everyone together, because in groups like that, sometimes people ask the question that you're afraid to ask, and that helps everyone. So
yeah, absolutely.
We will organize that in the email that comes out after this, but any support is appreciated.
Okay. And is there a specific email address they need to send it to, or how do they get to you their screenshot that showing that they have pre-ordered?
I mean, since they're already connected to you, they can send it CC to both of us.
Absolutely.
My email is chris@chrisruden.com, and we can already send that out to make sure everyone's together. I'm not very picky. Like it's also an honor system thing too. Like if you respect me enough, I respect you enough, that we're there. I'm here to help, and I appreciate the support. Let's do it the right way,
Mhm.
You got it.
Love
Okay. All right. So we had a question, the 5 questions. We call these our 5 critical questions. And it does happen right at the beginning of building a personal brand. And here are the 5 questions, guys. And Sindel, if you would please pop those into the chat as well. So we have these. Exactly who do you serve? How do you serve them? What qualifies you to serve them? How does it make their life better? And what makes you different from everyone else who's also trying to serve those same people? If you get those questions nailed down, now you have the clear foundation for building a brand and building an amazing high-paid speaking business, right? Making sure to pull in what Chris talked about as well as that clarity piece, the clarity piece.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And anyone who has questions now, feel free to type them in the chat, whether it's specifically about getting $10,000 type events or it's specific parts of the process that we mentioned. Any questions, free for all. This is direct line of communication with me. Ask away. I'm here for it.
All right. Jamie asked, how are you practicing speaking to yourself? Everyday skills need to be practiced as well, that you deserve more.
Yeah, so that's a huge one. And I deal with that for a lot of my talks on overcoming adversity or language. Language plays such a huge role in beliefs and actions. If you constantly tell yourself you're lazy, the reality is you might have been lazy in the past, but that's not who you are. It's what you've done. So you don't have to continually be the person you were. But if you say things like, I'm lazy, I'm lazy, I'm lazy, when something comes up, you're creating a belief or a condition or a pattern of laziness actively. You have to catch that moment. And I think one of the easiest ways, maybe I can send this in an email, think of a triangle. Okay, so everyone just picture a triangle with me. In the bottom corner, you see catch. In the top, you see challenge. And in the other corner, change. You have to catch it, and you have to be aware of the language that's not truthful. Even though you feel lazy or you feel like everything's not working, feelings are not facts. You have to catch that moment, and you have to challenge that moment. Are you always lazy, or have you just been lazy a few times? Okay, so you're not always 100% lazy. You have to challenge that moment, and then you have to change it. I might have been lazy in the past, but I don't have to choose to be lazy anymore. I'm going to get up and go now. I'm going to do it now. I refuse to accept that the feelings that paint me as a villain are true. And now you change that moment and change that language. That's how I practice speaking to myself. And that's how I teach people to practice to speak to themselves better. Because when you change your language, you change your life.
That's why you want to get that gift, guys.
Absolutely.
Right there. He's full of it. He's got more. He's got a whole lot more to offer when it comes to that. Chris,
this whole thing is like a fortune cookie moment of change and getting unstuck. So
you're very, Chris, you're very impeccable with your words. And we could not agree with you more. Like if you,
words
one
matter.
person out there picks that up, words matter. What you tell yourself matters very much so.
So yes. Now, another question from Dagna, the speaker's reel. How do we get it done?
Perfect. So great question. I'm going to expand a lot more on that on our private call after this one. But if I could go back, it's almost like this can't date until you're married situation, which is super frustrating. Like you have to have amazing footage on your speaker's reel, but to get amazing footage on an amazing stage, you have to have a speaker's reel. So it's like, which one comes first? Here's how you do it. You don't be a perfectionist, because perfect is the enemy of good. You have to start somewhere. And honestly, you have to be willing to look dumb. I think that's such a huge lesson. Like, it sounds ridiculous, but you have to be willing to look not amazing to eventually look amazing. Start, and if you need to use your phone, you have to use your phone. Is it a perfect world? No, of course. Yeah, if I could have a Netflix documentary about me when I first started, that would be great, but that's not the reality. You have to find your message, like we talked about, that actionable message and profitable topic. And then you have to create the storyline. How are you going to tell that message and share that message on camera? Maybe you're sitting in a yellow chair with a nice background and you're talking about how to gain the upper hand, leveraging limitations to turn adversity to advantage. And I talk about the 3-step process. Maybe that's what you're doing, and you have this interview that lasts 2 minutes. Now, when you start speaking for free to offer your service to get more footage in exchange for that speaker's reel, which is a tactic that I will teach on the next call, then you start adding to that speaker's reel where it's not just you sitting in front of a chair. Now it's you on different stages in different areas speaking. There are ways to embellish it and make it look a little bit better, but it starts with a simple interview and then it gets built up on top and on top of every new event that you do. The one thing I will say as a speaker, if you are just starting speaking or you've been speaking, every single event needs to be recorded and properly audio mic'd up. Whether you use a portion of what you're getting paid to get it recorded, or if you can budget having someone record you for like $400, or if that's outside of the budget and that's not even accessible or realistic, use your phone and have someone record parts of it for you, just sideways, you know? Everything matters, but the more footage you have, the more options you have to display the dynamic speaker that you're becoming. That's vital. So it's a great question. That's one of my main focuses when we go to the next call.
I love it. Hey, we're running out of time, but Chris, we got to talk about this one. Charles Adam right here. He wrote, Chris, you came to visit me in the hospital. I lost my hand and you came in and inspired me because of what you were accomplishing in life. Can't wait to start my speaking journey. So very
Charles,
touching.
man. Charles, I'll just tell you now, like I remember seeing you in the hospital and you already had good spirits on it. You know, obviously it was very new. I'm so excited for you to start your journey. And I was excited that he wanted to hop on this call. He reached out to me kind of like serendipitous. He reached out to me a few days ago and he was like, I'm really interested in doing that speaking thing we talked about. And I was like, man, I got a call that's perfect for you. So Charles, we'll be speaking and I'm excited to see where you are in your journey.
We will be too.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to seeing you on stage, Charles.
Absolutely. We will share the stage one day.
That's right. That's right. Well, I will we'll leave with this, you know, I would like to go around here and give just final thoughts about today's speaking topic. If you guys don't mind, I'll go first. I would like to say to all of you out there who are aspiring speakers and you want to get to this level, you do have a star inside, and your message matters. And it matters a lot. And if you can really get that dialed in, there is no end to the success that you can have in the speaking world. And if there's anything that we can do to help you along that way, or anything Chris can do to help you, please don't hesitate to reach out to us for that. But keep in mind, you are a star.
And Chris, if you don't mind, I'll go next and then you back clean up. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Hey, my message is brief, guys. The one thing that I would have changed in my entire life looking back is I would have been bolder sooner. Don't wait. Don't wait. Be bold about it.
I think it's vital to remember this. Your message matters. There is no oversaturation of you in the market. You don't exist yet. Or if you do, you haven't even grown it to what it could be. Your message not only matters, it's vital for someone out there who needs that to hear that, whether it's for them to change the organization direction or to change an individual's life. You have a message. Put it out there. It's worth it.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you for your time, sir.
Yes, thank you. We're very honored.
Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you to the Hounds of Business and Mike Asherbrenner. We appreciate all of you. Thanks,
Mike.
so much.
I'll be seeing you soon, so I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, buckle up.
Yeah.
Bye, guys. Have a
Bye, guys.
Have a great day.